All right. Let me get back to some Bible stuff. I don't claim to be a Bible genius. It's a whole lot I don't understand. There's a whole lot I do understand. But I want to focus on a scripture, passages of scripture that is very heavily used in the church, not for prosperity's sake, but for a kind of false hope. People use this passage with well intent, but if you grew up in the traditional church, a lot of this stuff has been handed down, and preachers and people have repeated phrases or scriptures that they'll try to give you something to grab give you something to grab hope to, or give you something to put hope into you, give you hope, but at the same time, they might be giving you false hope. And oftentimes they will use scriptures in giving you false hope. You have a lot of people out there that don't mind giving people false hope. Hype preachers. You have a lot of hype preachers. They will say anything as long as it sounds good to hype you up, to make you feel good. And a lot of times they'll do that to make you feel good, just to get next to you. But let's go to Isaiah 53. Who had believed our report? Who had believed our report? Right there. Who had believed our report? People get sick in church. I went to the doctor. The doctor said I was diagnosed that I got cancer. The doctor said I got diabetes. The doctor said that such or whatever. They come to church, give a testimony or something. They help, and people, preachers, and this is what they will go and grab. I will believe the report of the Lord. I ain't gonna believe the doctor said I got this, but I ain't gonna accept it. I ain't got it. I ain't got what the doctor said I had. Then you have preachers tell, don't believe what the doctor said. Believe the report of the Lord. Oftentimes, they are filling you up with falsehood. It's good to think positive. It's good to try to be positive in every phase, but you ain't benefiting nobody, or you not benefiting yourself when you purposely grab hope to stuff like this. And it don't benefit you. Oftentimes people be sought up for a letdown on these type of scriptures. Who have believed our report? I will believe the report of the Lord. The doctor can say what he want to say, or the people can say what they want to say. I'm going to believe the report of, well, if you don't believe that report or the doctor and take necessary steps to try to get rid of that illness or whatnot, some find out it's too late. You better just start preparing yourself of what might come. It's good to be positive, but at the same time, if you pump yourself up full of false hope, it's not beneficial to you. And a lot of people have become brainwashed over this type of stuff. Don't take them to the doctor. Don't do this. Just pray about it. Just pray about it. Don't worry about what the doctor said. Just pray about it. Don't you know a lot of people done died behind it? A lot of people done lost possessions behind it. Just pray about it. Let the Lord work it out. Just do, don't believe what that doctor said. I believe what Jesus said. I believe what God. If that's the case, that means sickness shouldn't strike nobody's body. Because right down here, I'm going to show y'all what else they use. Isaiah is a go-to passage for this. Be aware of hype preachers and hype people. People that just like to pump people up with hype, false hope. They grab these scriptures and take them out of context. Some do it intentionally and some do it inadvertently. But in most cases, it's still wrong. (53) verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgression. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. With his stripes we are healed. This is what they will go and get to tell you that you are healed of whatever it is physically because of his stripes. I'm sure a lot of people done heard this. And you grew up in the traditional churches and stuff like that, you have heard this repeated over and over again. People done stood up in church, gave a testimony, or done told the people, let them know, I was diagnosed with something. They want prayer, they want this. Then the preacher gonna come along. They gonna go grab these. He was wounded for our transgression. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. With his stripes we are healed. This the famous line right here. With his stripes we are healed. This is not talking about physical. This is not talking about physical healing of any sort. What Jesus Christ went through, the suffering, didn't have nothing to do with preserving the body. If that was the case, people who have died of diseases and stuff like that, they would be still here. They would have just died of old age. Wouldn't be no such thing. If by his stripes that he suffered on the cross, if there was our physical healing and stuff like that, why would there be any physical sickness today? People would just die of old age. People would just expire. Some people do just expire. Nothing wrong with them, they just die. But hospitals all across the country, all across the world are filled with people with all sorts of illness, sickness. It's a thing, it's real. So be wary when people use these scriptures out of context Cause what happens when this don't manifest itself? By his stripes, I'm healed. You don't went to the doctor. You've been diagnosed with stage 1. You go back to the church. They say this and they do this. They pray about by his stripes I'm healed. And by his stripes I'm healed. And you go back 2 months later, you got stage 2. By his stripes I'm healed. Another month, stage 3, stage 4. It ain't looking good, is it? Then you take this and ask the preacher about it, and what you expect he gonna tell you? Well, just keep praying. They don't know what to tell you, but just keep praying. Next thing you know, you gone. Did the scriptures lie? No, they didn't. Did the scriptures lie at any point? No. Man lied. Man pumped you up full of false hope. That's what it boiled down to. Cause people just hardly can't tell people now, just prepare for the worst. They don't. That's the last thing you want to tell people in church. Prepare for the worst. People don't want to hear that. That's why I never been one who go to church, them prosperity preaching type churches. I mean, prophesying type atmosphere churches. Stand in line. Y'all really don't want to hear bad stuff. Who want to go in the prosperity line, prophetic line, and hear something bad? Everybody that go in them, they want to hear something good, like the psychic. Tell me something good. Tell me what's in my future. They want to know what's in their future, and is it good? If it's bad, they don't want to hear it. But there was a few times in the Bible where people were sent to deliver bad news to people. Hezekiah, Ananias, Sapphira, few others. People want to talk about prophesy to me. Loaded, prophesy. If these people were prophesying true, they wouldn't be popular. Because it ain't always good. Most time when people prophesy in the Bible, prophesy to directly, messages and stuff, but it wasn't always good. Not direct divine prophecy. They were sent message to them. They finna have to go through something. They were sent messages. People knocked at the door and told them, y'all finna die. Ananias and Sapphira, I don't like this story. I know about it, I don't like it. I hardly ever try to reference it. But it's true. You greedy folks, that was their problem. They were greedy. They were deceiving the people. They were getting over. God saw what they were doing. Sent them a message, knock on the door. You finna die. They knew what was going on. By his stripes, we are healed. We are healed. We are healed. Healed. That's not talking about physical. Because the Bible say this body is got to decay. This mortal body gonna decay. God gonna give us a glorified body. This body gonna return to the dust from which it came at some point. We healed physically. His stripes made us heal from the physical, the spiritual sickness. We don't have to live with spiritual sickness. His stripes took care of that. By his stripes we are healed. Surely he had borne our grief and carried our sorrows. Yet did we esteem him stricken, smitten of God, afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgression. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. With his stripes we are healed. All we, like sheep, have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord have laid on him the iniquities of us all. He was oppressed, he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is dumb. So he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? And who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. By his stripes we are healed from spiritual sickness. Be weary of the hype preachers. Don't let them fill you full of false hope. Don't be deceived. If you go to the doctor or whatnot, you get bad news, make plans, make preparation. Do what you can do. Don't sit there and live in denial. Don't sit there and pass it all. Well, by his stripes, it's some more scriptures. Call things to be as though they wasn't. You can do all that stuff. But the reality is, you are sick. That's why God gave us doctors. We see them in the Bible. God gave us doctors and stuff like that. They are benefit. They're not our enemies in most cases. They're not our enemies. If you get bad news, you get diagnosed, it will behoove you to take the necessary steps. If it seems like it's too far gone, still take the necessary. Make sure you got your stuff together before you leave here. Because it's certain that we going to leave here one way, one thing for sure, you going to leave here. It's not like you're going to pass this off in there and you're going to live forever on this earth. You got to leave here one way or the other. And it's through death. It's through death. Be weary of the hype and false hope preachers.